In a world where health and wellness have become more than just buzzwords, the line between nourishment and harm has never been thinner. What was once seen as an innocuous part of daily life, taking a vitamin to boost energy or aid digestion, is now under intense scrutiny, especially when it comes to one seemingly harmless nutrient, vitamin B6. Known for its role in brain development, immune function, and the production of red blood cells, B6 has long been a staple in multivitamins, energy drinks, and even weight loss shakes. But behind this widespread availability lies a growing public health concern that is only now beginning to be fully understood. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, pyridoxal, or pyridoxamine, is not inherently dangerous. In fact, it's essential for our bodies to function properly. However, like many nutrients, it can turn from beneficial to harmful when consumed in excessive amounts over prolonged periods. The problem arises when these high doses are hidden in everyday products, often without consumers realizing they're taking them at all. This silent crisis is unfolding in Australia, where thousands of supplements and food products contain levels of B6 far beyond what the body needs, and the consequences can be severe. The human nervous system is exquisitely sensitive, and when exposed to too much B6, it can begin to break down. One of the most alarming effects of chronic overconsumption is peripheral neuropathy, a condition that affects the nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord. Symptoms include tingling, numbness, burning sensations, and in some cases, complete loss of sensation in the hands and feet. These symptoms can appear gradually, making it easy for individuals to dismiss them as aging or stress-related until the damage becomes irreversible. What makes this issue particularly concerning is how easily it can be overlooked. Unlike pharmaceutical drugs, which come with strict regulations and require prescriptions for higher dosages, over-the-counter supplements are largely unregulated. This means that products containing dangerously high levels of B6 can sit on store shelves alongside other health products, their risks buried beneath flashy marketing and vague labeling. For many Australians, the idea that something as simple as a vitamin could lead to serious nerve damage is almost unthinkable. Yet, the evidence is mounting, and medical professionals are sounding the alarm. The Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA, Australia's medicines regulator, has recently taken notice of the growing number of adverse events linked to vitamin B6. While official reports cite over 170 cases of peripheral neuropathy associated with B6 supplementation, experts believe the true number is significantly higher. Many people simply don't make the connection between their symptoms and the vitamins they're taking, and even those who do may not seek help because they assume vitamins are always safe. After all, they're natural, right? This assumption is exactly what makes the situation so dangerous. Vitamins are often viewed as benign, but in reality, they are powerful biochemical agents that can interact with the body in complex ways. When taken in isolation and at high doses, their effects can become unpredictable. And while the recommended daily intake of B6 is relatively low, just a few milligrams per day, many products on the market offer amounts that are dozens of times higher. Some contain up to 200 milligrams of B6 per dose, which is well beyond the point where toxicity can occur. The TGA has responded to this emerging crisis by proposing significant regulatory changes aimed at reducing the risk of B6 overexposure. At the heart of these proposals is the reclassification of certain supplements. Products containing more than 50 milligrams of B6 would no longer be available for self-selection. Instead, they would fall under Schedule 3, meaning they can only be purchased with the guidance of a pharmacist. This shift would place a crucial layer of oversight between the consumer and the product, ensuring that individuals receive proper advice before committing to long-term use. But the changes go beyond just access. The TGA is also pushing for clearer and more consistent labeling across the supplement industry. Currently, there is a lack of standardization in how B6 is presented on product labels. Some products listed as pyridoxine, others as pyridoxal phosphate, and still others may not mention it at all unless you look closely. This inconsistency creates confusion and makes it difficult for consumers to track their total B6 intake. To address this, the proposed changes would mandate that all forms of B6 be clearly identified and that warning labels be included to highlight the risks of excess consumption. These warnings would not be mere suggestions. They would be direct statements designed to capture attention and convey urgency. For example, labels might read, "Excess consumption of vitamin B6 can cause nerve damage. Stop use and see a doctor if you experience tingling, burning or numbness." Such language is meant to cut through the noise and remind consumers that even something labeled as a vitamin can carry serious health risks when misused. The implications of these changes are far-reaching. They signal a shift in how society views supplements, not as harmless additives, but as substances that require careful management and professional oversight. This is especially important given the sheer volume of products on the market. With over 1,500 vitamin and mineral supplements listed on the Australian Register of Therapeutic Goods, the potential for misuse is vast. And while only a small percentage of these products currently contain high levels of B6, the trend toward higher dose formulations suggests that the problem may only grow worse if left unchecked. Pharmacists are among the strongest advocates for these changes. As frontline healthcare professionals, they see firsthand the consequences of improper medication and supplement use. They understand that patients often come to them with questions about side effects, drug interactions, and dosage concerns, but when it comes to vitamins, these conversations rarely happen. That's why the proposed requirement for pharmacist consultation is such a critical step forward. It allows for a meaningful dialogue between the patient and the professional, helping to prevent unnecessary harm before it occurs. At the same time, the complementary medicines sector is being called upon to take greater responsibility for consumer education. The current labeling practices place too much burden on individuals to interpret complex nutritional information. For the average person, calculating total daily B6 intake from multiple sources is not just difficult, it's practically impossible without expert guidance. By improving transparency and providing clearer, more accessible information, the industry can play a key role in reducing the risk of B6 toxicity and fostering a culture of informed decision-making. Of course, not everyone agrees with the need for stricter regulations. Some within the supplement industry argue that adverse events related to B6 are extremely rare and that the benefits of supplementation outweigh the risks. According to this perspective, the chance of experiencing nerve damage from B6 is so low that it doesn't justify limiting access to these products. However, the TGA report refutes this claim, noting that spontaneous adverse event reporting systems are inherently flawed due to underreporting and a lack of usage data. Just because few cases are reported does not mean the problem isn't real. The debate is further complicated by the legal landscape. A class action lawsuit has been launched against one of Australia's largest supplement companies, alleging negligence in relation to B6 toxicity. This legal action highlights the growing awareness of the issue and the increasing willingness of affected individuals to seek justice. Over 140 people have come forward with personal stories of how their lives were impacted by B6-related illness, and at least 10 doctors have reported similar experiences in their own patients. These accounts paint a troubling picture of a public health issue that has been ignored for far too long. What makes this situation particularly frustrating is the fact that most people get all the B6 they need from their daily diet. Foods like chicken, fish, potatoes, bananas, and fortified cereals provide more than enough of this essential nutrient. The need for supplementation is limited to individuals with clinically diagnosed deficiencies, yet the market continues to push high-dose B6 as a solution for everything from fatigue to anxiety. This kind of marketing fuels misunderstanding and encourages unnecessary consumption, putting consumers at risk without their knowledge. As the TGA moves forward with its proposed changes, the coming months will be critical in determining whether these measures will be effective in addressing the B6 toxicity crisis. The deadline for implementation is set for February 2027, giving manufacturers and retailers nearly 18 months to adjust their practices. During this time, it will be important for stakeholders across the healthcare and supplement industries to work together to ensure a smooth transition and to communicate the importance of these changes to the public. For consumers, the message is clear: vitamins are not a one-size-fits-all solution, and more is not always better. While some people may benefit from targeted supplementation, the majority of Australians can meet their nutritional needs through a balanced diet. The key is to approach supplements with the same level of caution and understanding as any other medication. That means reading labels carefully, consulting healthcare professionals, and staying informed about the potential risks associated with each product. Ultimately, the B6 story serves as a reminder that even the most basic aspects of health can be influenced by the choices we make. In a world where information is abundant but often conflicting, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of products claiming to improve our well-being. But by focusing on science, transparency, and responsible consumption, we can navigate this landscape more effectively and protect ourselves from preventable harm. The journey toward better health is not about chasing quick fixes, it's about making informed decisions that support long-term well-being. And so, as we wrap up this eye-opening look into the world of vitamin B6 and its hidden dangers, one thing becomes clear: health is not just about what you take, it's about understanding why and how much. What was once seen as a harmless supplement has revealed itself to be a complex issue with real consequences for many. This isn't just a story about a single vitamin, it's a broader conversation about how we approach our health in a world overflowing with products promising quick fixes and easy solutions. The regulatory changes being proposed by the Therapeutic Goods Administration are a step in the right direction, but they also highlight a larger need for awareness, education, and critical thinking when it comes to what we put into our bodies. Whether it's vitamins, supplements, or even food additives, it's essential to ask questions, read labels carefully, and seek professional advice when needed. If there's one takeaway from this journey through the science, stories, and legal battle surrounding vitamin B6, it's that knowledge is power. By staying informed, we can make smarter choices for ourselves and those we care about. Because in the end, true wellness doesn't come from blindly following trends or trusting everything on a label. It comes from understanding what we're consuming and why. So before you reach for that next bottle of energy boosters or daily multivitamins, take a moment. Think twice. Ask yourself, do I really need this? And if you're ever unsure, don't hesitate to consult a healthcare professional. After all, your health is too important to leave to chance. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone who might benefit from knowing a little bit more. Thanks for watching.